4 more weeks left between now and playoffs. So we'll see what happens, who gets in, who falls out. The thing is, there's a couple people that already know exactly where they are, but most of us are right in the middle of a bunch of people right around 500. So we'll see what happens. Last week pretty much saw Tim assure himself of the #1 seed, probably, but most definitely a division win, as he beat Dozer 264 to 149 and gains immunity for next week. JP's Peace Finger is on the other end of that. His playoff chances are done, pretty much, after losing to the sales team in Salt Dome 170 to 96. His eliminator chances also gone because he scored the least amount of points. Other people still eligible for the eliminator. Gina beat me by 9 points because I didn't listen to Paul, pretty much. Rob had a fantastic week again. Him and Tim look like to be the two strongest teams right now. 247, beating my brother, who also is probably out of the playoffs now with a 2-7 record. 247, 156. Adam Balk squeaked out a win in a game where both people scored under 165 points. 162 to Paul's 145. Paul's team is in a free fall. Made a trade with me this week. We'll see if it changes his luck. And then Mr. Rosencrantz is right in it after picking up D'Angelo Williams, winning 220 to 106. All of a sudden, his team has some possibilities if he can make it into the playoffs. So after last week, the standings are as follows. The one in the division that's pretty much over is Rogue Squadron. Tim is 4 games up with 4 to go against Mrs. Dozer, and he's not losing 4 straight games. So congratulations, Tim. You're in the playoffs already. In the other division that has a clear leader, and that is Little Bearded Men, and the reason I say he's a clear leader is because he's the only one in his division scoring points right now. Dozer is only 1 point game behind, but his team's not finding any points because of a lot of injuries. Saul and Paul are tied in their division, but the best team in that division right now is 1 game behind. That's Mr. Rosencrantz. After last week's big putout, he's 4-5 and right on the cusp of a possible playoff spot. I am 1 game back, as well as Joe, of Balky in the Sizzly division. We'll see who wins that division. I have more points than everybody else, but still I'm 1 game behind. So the projected playoffs, if they started today, Tim would have the #1 seed. Rob would have the #2 seed, and both earned bye. So nothing changes there. It's the same as last week. The sales team would get the 3 seed and face Paul's 5-4 shy surprise, who can't put up any points. And Balky would get the 4 seed against Dozer's team, who can't put up any points. So I think the 3, 4, 5, and 6 are going to be very volatile. That's not the right word. Volatile. There you go. The rest of the way, we'll see who winds up taking them the rest of the way. And we head into week 10. Like I said, 4 weeks left. The prime time matchup, well, is between 2, 5, and 4 teams. Who's going to rise? Who's going to fall? One of them is Saul. He plays Dozer in a matchup that'll pretty much determine if they're on the way up or the way down toward the playoffs. Tim looks to take advantage of Adam Balk. He's taking advantage of everybody besides me. Somehow I beat Tim this year. And see if Tim can go to 9-1. I greatly appreciate it because I'm facing my brother, and if I win, I would go back to first place as I face my brother in that matchup. Mr. Rosencrantz, off his by far strongest week of the year, unfortunately has to face one of the 2 strong teams in our league in Rob Yates. We'll see with different bye weeks who comes out on top of that one. Tim Couch's Revenge and Paul Barnett, both right around 500. They're looking to advance into the playoffs. They'll face each other. And Gina gets to face Jason, and Jason's pretty much out of it. So this one is, can Jason play the spoiler and knock Gina down to 4 and 6? So that's the info through week 9. Looking forward to week 10. Again, the big trade that went down between me and Paul. I got Tony Romo and Demaryius Thomas. So I have a quarterback now that Andrew Luck has a lacerated kidney. And upgraded at wide receiver slightly from Cobb to Demaryius Thomas. And Paul gets the much-needed running back he needed in Mark Ingram. So I will see you next week Good luck, everybody. Unless you're ahead of me in the standings, then, well, obviously, I kind of hope you lose.